You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
Okay, so this is
Hi, Bronny.
Hi.
It's an exciting one.
What usually you're like, so what's going on? And then I'm like, oh, not too much.
Why, what's going on? Only joking.
Not too much.
So, first of all, again, it feels good to be back.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a lot of positive feedback. People are very happy we're back, so we are back. History. First of all,
well, I'm glad we didn't record. This is Sunday afternoon. I'm glad we didn't record Saturday.
we would have had to record another one.
Yeah,
100%.
which would have sucked.
Why?
No, well, we could have just used it for another thing, but
These
it just
go
we would have been
so
behind.
quick. These things go
No,
so
I know. I'm just
fucking-
saying. I'm glad that we waited. It's almost like we knew.
All right.
Divine.
First of all, we're talking about Trump.
We're
What
talking
happened.
about RFK's the worm in his brain.
We're talking about July 13th.
Yeah.
July 13th, which will never be forgotten.
Well, I don't. Okay, it's not.
Wait, he's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
You got to give the guy credit. So here's the thing. So, Bron, I work hard, right? I do. I work hard. It's very intense.
Well,
Listen, no, and I'm a young 57-year-old, and I'm in shape. I
Yes.
couldn't do what that guy does in a week. Okay, he's what, 78?
I think so.
Bronny, I have a couple of employees. Nothing. This guy, it's unbelievable what he does in a week. And here's the thing: if I had someone coming after me like that with all the litigation, this and that, whatever, I'd say to Mom, "I'm out. I don't need the aggravation at my point in my life." He's a fucking beast. You got to give. I mean, it's unbelievable. He's an animal.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, even though to be fair, even Biden, like if you're gonna say Trump's workload and how he handles it is impressive, even Biden, you got to give him credit too.
Well, he's weekend at Bernie's though. He's been dead for years.
But the fact that he even has to attend all these things, it's like Bobby couldn't do that.
No. Listen, the commitment is huge. I agree with you.
Even if he's not there, he's like there
Right,
physically.
but
at the NATO summit all last week, he was attending 7 speeches a day. I wouldn't even be able to
but
do
the
that. Wouldn't
whole
want to do that.
The whole different level of this guy playing golf, the litigation alone and the threats, and I mean, huge. Forget about financially, physically, and emotionally draining, right? The guy is unbelievable, Bronson, what he does. And then he gets fucking almost shot, which really
Well,
was.
he did get shot.
Well, wasn't it they said that it shot the.
No.
Okay.
So here's the thing: we're less than 24 hours out of this thing. So everything.
I love him.
But like
Go ahead.
every single thing that's coming out of this, to me, I look and I'm like, I'm not going to believe anything for a couple weeks until the dust settles, because you never know. Because even right when it first started, even Burke was sending me pictures of the quote unquote shooter, and I was like, that's not the shooter. That's a someone who's messing around with you.
You just being a little cautious on, because there is that
Right, but
fake shit. I get it.
But I'm saying to everyone listening is like, you have to be cautious, because even the person that they're claiming is the shooter right now, it's like, we don't know that for sure. We just don't know that, because as of last night, there were like 7 different shooters potential for, and then they all settled on one today. But it's like, we don't know that.
All right, but let's
in a
go.
month it could be different.
True, but let's go with what we're hearing
Right,
and what we know.
But you have to establish that at first.
Okay,
You have to say that.
little footnote. He's making a disclaimer, but let's talk
Because
about
remember
what we're
when
hearing.
when the Ukraine war first erupted,
Ukraine's in a war.
and we did a whole episode, and we were like, this Zelensky guy is amazing. The ghost of Kiev, that fighter pilot who's shooting all these people down, it was all fake. But we talked about it for an hour like it was amazing. So I'm just saying, it's like, we can talk about all these things, but it's like in a month from now, the shooter might not be the actual shooter.
Then we'll change our story. It will change.
I know, but I'm just putting it out there.
No problem. Now, how great when Biden calls Zelensky Putin.
Well, yeah, we have to talk.
Oh
hold
my
on,
God!
that's a whole different
I know,
thing.
but I'm just saying. But this is have a conversation. We're going to stick. But when you look at him, how do you not like say? Number one is if you have any compassion, you got to feel for the guy. Number one, and then you say, what a joke America must look like. I mean, this is the lead of the free world. Like, it's a fucking joke. Like take him off stage. You know, if this was acting, take him off fucking stage.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to Trump, because I'm sorry, this is crazy.
Yeah, we have to stick.
All
with,
right, but this is what we do. The blooms are all over the place. That's what people like about it. By the way, we're being sponsored by Adidas, just so you know. Like,
Last night, all of us
Except
were in
Bryce.
Adidas except Bryce. But yeah.
but people have a mind. Good call.
Do you want to?
I do.
Want a cookie or something?
No, I want to. Yeah, accolade
For shoes that you bought?
Okay, I'm calm the fuck down. I'm teasing.
I mean, I don't even know where to start with the shooting.
Okay, we don't have to talk about the deals. Everyone knows. If you don't know, then you don't deserve to hear it. Every one of our listeners know.
Yeah, about that he actually
What
about
happened?
the actual shooting.
Right now, was it definitely confirmed it was a bullet that hit him, or was the glass? I heard again the teleprompter got hit, and it was the glass.
So
that did
where did you hear that from?
on Fox originally, but it could have been older.
Yeah, so that's not the case. It's not the case for multiple reasons. One, both Trump and the Secret Service came out with their statements that said he was shot with a bullet.
Okay, great.
Two, there's no
Okay, then it's wrong.
the teleprompter, like you can see the teleprompters are fully intact.
Great.
But see,
No
that's the thing. It's like there's so many, because people just don't know. It's like fog of war. And immediately the second it happened, Twitter was ablaze with shit. So it's like people are just saying things and you just don't know.
So we do know that he got shot, and it got lucky.
Okay, it
Lucky,
hit the
right?
top. I mean, lucky is an understatement. It hit the top of his ear, the bullet, a half an inch.
No,
from his
an eighth of an inch
from his skull, which he would have died.
Yeah.
But see, okay, so first of all, I also just am going to lay it
Don't
out
be a
there.
skeptic that you think that.
Oh,
that
I'm
was
being
it.
the least skeptic. Are you serious? The entire
You think
internet.
it was all set up?
No, I don't think it was all set up. But the entire internet does.
People saying that?
Left and right. The left.
No way.
Okay, so the left thinks it was set up by Trump himself.
Oh my God.
As a false flag type thing to gain support, because, like it or not, he is way more likable today than he was yesterday.
No,
way more likable.
He's like a fucking god right now.
Which is I don't like. I
don't mean literally.
No, but people are like
Correct.
literally.
Yes.
There are a lot of things where it's like, oh, this is literally divine intervention that they saved, because his head turned at exactly the right moment before the bullet came, and that if it didn't, he would have been shot, right? Okay, so the left is saying that it was a Trump setup. The right, all the Trump supporters are saying that it was a Secret Service setup and a left setup to try to actually kill Trump, which there's a lot of sketchy stuff. Like, we can watch, there's multiple videos that are sketchy on both sides, right? The fact that it just grazed his ear.
The videos could be doctored. If you want to be pessimistic or think that there's a, what do they call conspiracy? Any video could be doctored.
Of course,
Right,
sure.
go ahead.
The entire thing could be doctored. Trump might actually not be bleeding. It might be a blood pack. You watch those in movies all the time, and it looks real. Like you can always go down the rabbit hole.
I'm telling you right now, I'm 100% certain. This guy, here's my thoughts on this. This guy said it in his debate. He goes, I don't need this. I could be playing golf in Mar-a-Lago. I'm old. I could be doing my own thing. I don't need this. Considering what he's went through, and by the way, everything that the liberals have tried to do against him has worked in his favor. He's got more support. The litigation, all the stuff. I don't think after everything he's been doing, whatever, he did this as a ploy to go ahead and make it like it's a blood patch and scam. I don't think that's Trump. I don't think he did it. I think this is just, I don't think it's divine intervention. I just think it was just so fucking lucky. And thank God it grazed his ear. But when you look at him, when you see it, it's not rehearsed. You see it's very raw and authentic. Let me get my shoes, whatever. And you see his face when he gets up and how he got pumped. He's just he's an athlete. You know what I'm trying to say? He's like a professional trained athlete, and the adrenaline kicked in, and he could have taken a cowardly approach or whatever it was, or a protective fight or flight. He chose to fight and come up and be the adrenaline and showed his true colors. Okay, and I fucking respect that.
I 100% agree with you. I respect it. I watched it and I was like, wow, that shows who he actually is as a person. Because
he was a captain going down with the ship.
Because in the moment, it was life or death, and he showed like that he's actually a brave man, not a coward.
Right.
He showed that, because you don't know how you're going to react in a life or death moment until it happens.
Like Will Ferrell in that movie, Downhill or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So and you actually saw it live. So 100% respect, and everyone watching it, even people on the left, you watch it and you gain sympathy for the guy. Like, even if you didn't like Trump, you watch it and not only are you like, wow, he got shot at, he almost lost his life. Wow, I feel a little bad for him, some sympathy. But then he handled it like a fucking a warrior,
beast.
like a
Yep.
hero.
Yep, like a warrior.
Right. Okay. So all that is, I agree with you. All that aside, though, that doesn't prove that it's real. Like you said, I know with 100% certainty. Like that doesn't prove anything. The fact that he handled it well. If anything, it's like you could argue the fact that he was shot at and then immediately got up and put his fist up. It's like that might show that he knew there wasn't a threat. Right.
Well, I also heard
Just
that
to show that-
I also heard that by the time he got up, because the shooter was shot right away, that they said it was safe. It was a different story.
Yes,
I
they
heard
did.
that as well.
So they said, like, you can watch. I watched the whole 2-minute thing. He gets shot at. He falls to the.
I watched him many
They push
times,
him to
yep.
the ground, and then they say, "Shooter down, all clear." And that's when they bring him up. Right. Okay. So to get to all the sus stuff, and of course, I mean, you have to give I guess, like what you said, you have to give the caveat that anything could be doctored. But that goes for every single situation. So you have to just nullify that.
Sure, but you can't live your life like that. I don't think
Right, but I just said there's sus video, and you said, but you can't believe it. It might be doctored.
No. I said he came. I didn't say he came. I was saying that based on your theory, anything could be doctored.
Right.
So when you're saying it's sus video, I said, but
Right, but then the live stream that you watch where you're like, I saw it with my own eyes, that could be doctored.
but when you watch it live, it's a little bit different than watching.
Why? The entire thing might have been a stage. Every single person behind him might have been an actor.
Could be, yes. Okay,
You have no idea.
I don't live my life like the Truman Show. But go ahead.
Oh, but to be fair, there have been many documented, like factual documented times where governments have staged fake scenarios and killed real people in those fake scenarios in order to further a goal. Many times throughout history has that been documented. That's literally how Hitler came to power, right? He planned to burn down their Congress building, the Reichstag. He burned it down with his own hand, and then the next day was like, terrorists burned down the building. And that's what got the people in Germany to be like, oh my God, we're under threat. We need Hitler. He's a strong man. We need him to protect us. He burned it down. It's factual.
Are you comparing Trump to Hitler?
No, I'm just saying
I'm teasing
there
you.
are times in history where
Okay, I do respect that, but I just don't
Just to
believe
say-
that to be the case.
right. I
And
don't
if
either.
I'm ignorant and I'd rather be ignorant, I still want him in office. And if this is one thing to get him in office, I couldn't be fucking happier.
Okay, well, I disagree with that. You're okay with him staging fake things to get into office?
I don't think. Okay, I
don't think it was
he
either.
did it.
But you
I'm-
just said it.
no.
If it is, I'm okay with
just
it.
saying, meaning whatever people want to believe or not believe, because I have no way of proving it. Sort of like who killed OJ. The
JFK, you mean?
No, his girlfriend. What's her name?
Nicole
Right. What's her last
Simpson.
name?
OJ
Yeah,
Simpson.
Right. Okay. But my point is, I'll never know. Only the dog knows. I'm saying I'll never know. But my point is, if this is one thing that gets him in, like this is great, I'm happy. I need him in office for the benefit of our country, for the benefit of our world, of safety, economics. I want him in. And by the way, if he did get killed, there'd be World War III.
Okay, so yeah, there's so many things
A
that we have
lot
to
of
talk
issues,
about.
right? We only got 7 hours. Go ahead.
There's so many things we have to talk about because so let's start with the first. We got to get to the sus stuff, but we'll get to that. Okay, so the two things that you said that I want to talk about. The first one was like he has to win, right? This sealed the deal, in my opinion.
I don't know. But I hear you, and I want to believe that. Okay, but I'm just telling you, I don't put anything past. The Democrats are so smart, and there's so much fraud in our government. I still am not 100% certain that he's going to win. I want him to. I would think he would. I'm just being a little pessimistic and negative because the Democrats are smarter. Even the Republicans that don't want him in this, there's just so much strength in that.
But how? So because you like, I feel like you're holding two things that don't work at the same time. So you're saying the Democrats are so much smarter, but then look at the situation they're in. They've put up a zombie as their candidate.
I'm in agreement.
No, but they're in internal turmoil. The Democratic Party. The donors don't want the president. The president isn't standing down. The voters are against it. They're in turmoil.
I agree with you.
But then how are they so smart?
because no, here's what I'm trying
Because
to
they put themselves in the worst possible scenario. They should have,
because
2 years ago, nominated someone else.
You're right. But
So
it's
how
not
are they
over.
so
They still
smart?
might bring in somebody else. But here's listen, I agree with you. But it's just me being I'm a very cautious person.
So what do you mean when you say they're so smart?
I just think that the voting, okay, I don't think the proper checks and balances are in place with the voting, so I don't believe that the voting is going to be handled in a professional or a fair way. Number one. Number two is It's just a little part of me being cautious, a little wary. I don't know what the Dems are still going to do. Who are they going to appoint? Whether it's Michelle Obama, the Democratic National Committee, whatever. I don't know. And I don't know. I just think that there's, and maybe it's me just to sort of, so I don't get let down or something. It's just my saying out there, but I'm not 100% certain that it's a slam dunk. I also don't like, if somebody even pays me until the check clears, I don't consider it paid. That's just my personality.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're not going to, you can't be like, oh, Trump already won because it didn't happen.
No, but
this
you
is certainly,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. And I agree with you.
But this has certainly strengthened his candidacy.
1,000%. 1,000%. And I pray he wins. I literally pray. And it's almost like the Panthers winning. I'm just going to check. Yeah. The way I felt about the Panthers winning, Bronson, is exactly the day. If he wins, it'll be a major celebration. I'm going to have a party at the house.
So
I am.
So
it's like going to be like a wedding.
I do think that it strengthened him as a candidate.
No question.
Because not only did it show that he's under attack, which always like brings people to your cause, and it strengthens the people who were already behind him because now they're like, we're under attack.
Yep.
So it's like
support our
tribal,
leader,
and it's like tribalism. If your tribe's under attack, you're going to become stronger.
Like 9/11, the whole country came together.
Right, or like October 7th, a bunch of Jews came together and became more strong in their Jewish identity.
Yep.
So this only makes Trump supporters stronger, and then it makes people in the middle or left, like on the left that didn't like Trump, they look at it and they're like, wow, he was not only was he shot at, but he was brave and he handled it well. So it definitely strengthens him, which is ironic because it's the exact opposite of whoever was trying to kill him. It's the exact opposite of what they were intending to do.
Sort of what the whole Democrats have been trying to go after him. It's worked the opposite.
Well, he definitely, everything that negative happens to him ends up strengthening him, which is kind of funny. Everything. He became a convicted felon and everyone was like, that's awesome. Right? If it was anyone else,
they
that wouldn't.
know what the way it was being done and the bullshit and the whole lack of due process, so to speak, and the fraud. It just doesn't work. People still see. Here's the beauty: you can paint whatever picture you want, but when it comes down to the truth, people see through. Most normal people will see through the bullshit. You can paint whatever picture, you can post whatever you want, you can portray whatever you want. But when people lie down in their bed, I always call it like pillow thoughts. People see through the bullshit and know the reality.
Yeah, and also like convicted felon is such a stupid term because that doesn't mean you're a bad person, right? Like so many people have been commenting on our videos like, oh, really? You would vote for a convicted felon? And I reply, I'm like, Martin Luther King was a convicted felon.
Good point.
Nelson Mandela was a convicted felon.
Good point.
Gandhi was a convicted felon. All of these men spent time in prison, in fact. They're heroes. Just because someone's a convicted felon does not mean that they're bad. Does not mean that it actually could mean the opposite, right?
They were fighting for a cause. Who knows, right?
Right. I mean, I don't think Trump was fighting for a cause by paying Stormy Daniels, but I'm just saying that doesn't mean like it's
Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen. Really? Okay.
Well, I think objectively, Trump probably paid off Stormy Daniels. I don't think that's bad. Okay.
Right. So what?
Yeah. I mean, he was cheating on his wife, so he's immoral, I guess. But then he paid her off.
The jurors, the judge, they weren't all fucking corrupt. Give me a break.
Okay, but that doesn't.
I'm just saying, but
two wrongs don't make a right.
Okay, well, my point is, there's things the people use the government and the police force, whatever, and the state attorney's office. A lot of times they use it for different reasons, political reasons, to send a message. Like it's just things are not always done the right way. But let's go back to
so Trump. The other thing that you were saying, which we need to talk about, is the fact that like, what if he got shot? Like, what if he died?
Wait, before we get to that, can we talk about his response though when he got up there?
There's so many things we have to talk about. We have to even talk about like who the shooter is, right? Because that's
I do want to talk about that. Bronson, the guy's 78, right? When he got up,
the fact that he
you see him how pumped he was.
Well, the fact that he told the Secret Service, he was like, wait, because they were trying to escort him off. He was like, wait, and then because he needed to show everyone that he was okay. Which is admirable.
It gives me chills. Doesn't it give you chills?
I think in that situation, I might have just been like, I might have crawled off stage.
Correct. Everyone would.
It's definitely admirable.
9.5 or maybe almost 10 out of 10 wouldn't do what he did. You got to admit, right? That's true.
Yeah, although there could be like a feeling of everyone's there to support you.
The adrenaline.
And you might be he probably feels like a god at those things. Okay. Because everyone's there telling him he's a god.
But Bronson.
So it might be different in that situation being him, but whatever it is, it's very admirable.
Was he
100%.
not unbelievable that you saw that?
Yeah.
It was crazy. Did it not give you chills?
How did it not
How lucky.
shoot his head?
How lucky.
It
Bronson.
hit his ear.
It's crazy.
Okay, so wait, we'll get into all the
I love the guy.
questions
I'm sorry.
I have
I
about
love
it.
the guy. I love the guy.
So if he got shot, like if he died, because the thing is too, which the timing of it is impeccable. He's supposed to announce his VP in 3 days from now.
Who's that guy? That's another issue.
Yeah, I mean, which this went to show, like this changed the whole VP debate also, because now the VP, it shows you like the VP really matters who he picks, because if he picked the VP last week, right? Let's say he picked someone and then he actually died yesterday. He got shot and killed. That person would now have taken up the MAGA mantle, right? They would be the ones to replace Trump, because Trump, by making them the VP, would have appointed them as the next person.
Now, Pence was the wrong choice. We know that.
Oh, well, that was years ago.
I know. I know it wasn't yesterday. I'm just saying it was totally wrong
He
choice.
actually, at the time, I disagree with you. I think he was totally the right choice, because he was the opposite of Trump, right? Trump was new.
Yeah, no.
Hold on, let me.
Okay, go ahead.
Trump was not a politician. He was bombastic. He was offensive. He was ridiculous. And that was a negative to a lot of people, right? A lot of people who were Republican were like, he's rude. He's not a clean-cut Republican. This isn't what we can vote for. He's not traditionalist. So Pence was the exact opposite. So he assured those people, right? Pence allowed voters to be like, okay, yeah, Donald is ridiculous, but at least Pence is like, strong and traditional and classic and a true old school Republican. So it strengthened Trump's platform to the people at the time. The only reason you're saying that Pence was the wrong choice is because he turned on January 6th.
No.
So what else did Pence do wrong?
I thought he was way too religious. I don't think it's.
But that's what the Republican Party needs. They need a religious person.
I'm saying my opinion, what my thoughts are. I thought he was the wrong choice as that
Why?
VP.
Why
I thought he was weak. I thought he had no personality. I thought he was too conservative, too religious. And I don't like him. I wouldn't want him for president. I wouldn't want him for VP. And it's not my choice. That's all.
So, yeah, fair enough.
And has
I
nothing
disagree.
has nothing to do with the January thing. I just don't like him.
I think all the things that you said you said as negatives, I think were positives for Trump in 2016.
Okay, great.
The fact that he was religious, because Trump is cheating on his wives and stuff. So he needs.
I understand what you're saying.
Like
I just
60%
don't. For me, I would not. I only vote if Trump. I would not. Did not like his choice.
Yeah, but if you're a old school wealthy Republican who's from the South,
I get it 100% why
okay.
he did it. I just don't like it. That's all. But it doesn't
but
matter.
it clearly worked for him because he became president.
I don't
right?
think it would have worked. I don't think it affected him one way or the other who he chose for that VP.
Okay, I mean whatever. That's old news. It doesn't matter.
Correct,
anyways.
but you're going on it. I'm just responding to your comments.
No, well, you brought it up. You
Yes.
brought Pence up,
Right, and you wanted to delve into it further. That's all.
right? And so now his VP. I mean, I don't know who it's going to be, but if the timing seemed kind of perfect to me. Seemed like coordinated that they did it right before he chose a VP. Because let's say Trump died yesterday, the Republican Party would be fucked because everyone would be vying for a seat. No, there would be no clear.
Oh, it'd be chaos from the internal workings. It'd be chaos.
What do you mean from the internal workings?
Meaning like who they're gonna pick,
right? And whoever they picked isn't having the full support that Trump did because it would just be. People would be fractured because there'd be the QAnon people that support Trump that wouldn't want pick A. And there would be the just like people like you, like the moderate Republicans who like Trump for economy and stuff, who wouldn't like pick B. The
I wouldn't
party
want anyone
agree.
else other than Trump.
Yeah.
I'd deal with it.
Well, so then who would who do you think is a good VP pick?
I don't know.
If you don't want anyone besides Trump.
No, meaning as the president, I don't know who the good VP.
But that's why you pick the VP is you pick them as a president understudy. That's what you pick them for.
I think I understand why they do. I think most people vote for the president and give a little thought to the VP. I don't know who the right person for VP would be. What's your thoughts?
I don't really have any, honestly. Like, I
Well, I'm
agree with you. I don't
asking
really
you.
care. Like,
Right,
who
but I'm asking what you thought. Is it Tim Scott's is that wealthy businessman? What's it from? Is it Arkansas?
No, he's definitely picking a politician. He has to.
Well, that
keep
guy
the
with
part-
that
don't
one
know
from
who you're
Arkansas,
talking
the one who was running for president. He's the wealthy, the billionaire. You know his name.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Is it Michael something or whatever? Tim
don't know.
Scott, maybe?
Marco Rubio is
Marco
on the-
Rubio heard.
Trump kind of alluded to Rubio. Trump was in Doral, which is like a suburb of Miami, last week for a rally. And Rubio was there with him and introduced him. And then
Interesting.
Rubio said something, or Trump was talking about a new tax that's coming in Florida. And he was like, there's going to be great things next year in Florida. They're introducing this new tax, whatever, or this new tax credit. Marco, I don't know if you're going to have enough time for that. I don't even know if you'll be here. Like, he said that.
Interesting.
So who knows?
So I don't know enough about Marco Rubio.
He's been a Florida senator for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and we like how our state's run.
That's
so
true.
He must
I
be all
haven't
right.
heard anything negative.
Yeah.
Right.
He's likable. He's like,
Gets a Spanish vote.
yeah, and he's every time I've heard of him, like heard from him and stuff, he's likable.
And he sounds
He's professional.
intelligent. Doesn't sound like a buffoon.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be fine with it.
So he's like a safe choice, I feel like. Like Vivek, I feel like is a risky choice because people either love him or hate him. He's kind of like a Trump Jr., like an ethnic Trump Jr.
Here's the thing about Vivek. First of all, you have to give him, he's one of the best public speakers
No, he's the best.
No, the guy is almost like a robot in how perfect he is.
Yeah.
Any issue, when I hear anything you hear, they ask him a question on, his cadence is perfect. He doesn't speak too fast. He's brilliant in the way he speaks. He's eloquent.
If you notice, I noticed this a while ago, and I pointed it out to people, and people listening now, you won't be able to unhear it. He never says or even pauses.
Never hesitates.
A question is asked, and it's
Brilliant.
like ChatGPT.
That's what I'm
He
saying,
just
like the AI.
instantly gives you the answer without any thoughts or. It's crazy. It's actually like unnerving a little bit.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
And you're right. He doesn't stammer. Doesn't say like or
He doesn't say well.
and it's the cadence is perfect. Like I speak fast. He doesn't speak fast. He doesn't.
He's clearly
He's
intelligent.
a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
I
He's
don't
likable.
He is. I don't think he's. I don't know if I'd want to. He's successful. I'd be interested to see if he was president.
Like if he was white, he would be better than Trump because he's like the successful businessman route. He's extremely young, which is good.
He's
we need
brilliant.
that.
He's strong.
Yeah. And he's smart. He's run multiple businesses. Like he has a family, he's like a likable person. He never says things that are bombastic, but he also like stands behind things like Trump does. He's strong with that stuff.
He's strong.
His negative is because he's running as a Republican and he's brown. Like that just objectively harms him. It just does.
Yeah.
Because a woman who wants to vote for Trump, who's like 58 and lives in Arkansas and is like a Republican Christian and is a little bit racist just because a lot of, just is what it is. She's like, I like that guy Vivek, but we can't have a president that's just how they
Ramadan.
Yeah, right.
But
Like,
listen, but I got to tell you,
it's Ramaswamy. I know what his last name is. I was putting it as what that woman would say.
but I got to tell you something. I would love to be able to speak like he speaks.
Yeah.
The guy is fucking awesome. I actually listen to him speak just to see if he fucks up. That's how good of a speaker he is.
Okay, so back to so I do think it would have if
I got another thing to say. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
if he was killed. I mean,
Remind me about Pelosi and Biden. Go ahead.
it would have been.
What do you think would have taken in the streets?
Insane.
What do you think would have happened? Would there have been a fucking war?
What do you mean a war?
I mean, like riots and shit? Well, we don't do that.
No, because
Republicans don't do that.
I mean, they do, but like, what's there to riot about? It would be like there's no. It's just one person that did one thing. There's no riot to be had.
It's crazy.
But it would have been interesting, the fallout from it. But then again, like the fallout from this, even like the fact that he was shot. I don't know. You watched it yesterday. I was watching it and I was like, this feels like a turning point. There's so many
Thursday
times.
thought it was fake, right? Like it was. This was when Princess Diana was killed. You're like, wait, is this a Saturday Night Live skit? It doesn't make sense. It didn't.
We watched it. That's the crazy thing.
Crazy.
But so there are moments throughout history, many moments where in the moment, no one felt like it was a big, or it was like just a regular moment at the time. But then 60 years later, historians, and you're studying it and you look back and you're like, so I studied like World War I a lot, World War II, and you can pinpoint to specific moments in time now
that
were out. Like one moment that in the moment people were like, this has nothing to do with anything else. But the ripple effects from one thing have caused a huge thing, right? So like World War II, what I was saying, like the Reichstag fire, right? Where it was like a January 6th type moment. But the history that came from it was, right, World War II. And then the entire world is still being shaped by that.
You're right. The effect
World War
I,
there was one man, Gavrilo Princip, in Sarajevo, right, the city in Eastern Europe, in Slovakia, I think it is, or in something, Slovenia, one of those countries. This young 25-year-old man, Gavrilo Princip, shot Archduke Franz Ferdinand, who was the head of Germany, shot him as he was driving down the street. This was in like 1911 or 1912 or something, like early. And from that moment, which like seemed so insignificant, that set off a huge domino effect that led to World War I, which World War I then directly led to World War II. We wouldn't have had a World War II if Germany wasn't so obliterated during World War I, because they wouldn't have felt so slighted. The reason World War II started was because Germans were like, the world is so against us and we have no money. And that was because after World War I, the US, England, France made sure that Germany had no money so that they couldn't do it again. But that made it even worse, and World War II ended up being even worse than World War I. Right? So it's like it all started from one man, a random guy, Gavrilo Princip, shooting another random guy in a random city, right? And it set off this huge thing, which we're still feeling the effects of today. That moment yesterday, watching it, it felt like, oh, this could lead to the world changing forever. It really felt like that. Because I don't know if before this, like there's scenarios, let's say before this, Trump didn't win, right? And let's say because of this, now Trump wins. And it's like that could set off history in a completely
100%.
different direction.
It's
just so interesting.
In a more positive. It is interesting.
Who knows? What if Trump becomes president and North Korea is like, oh, fuck this nuke? Like, you just never know.
I get it. Of course you don't know, but I'm just saying I think it's a positive.
Or what if Trump gets into a pissing match with China in his first year of office and it leads to nuclear war? Like, you just don't know how things can.
We don't know, and I can't
course.
worry about things I don't have control over, but I'm thinking this is a positive.
But that's just what I'm saying is like, we don't know.
Of course we don't
watching
know.
yesterday felt like, oh, this is a turning point.
Well, your
in Trump's
children will
campaign.
be taught about this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's that big of a deal in terms of that, because like I was never taught about Reagan's assassination attempt.
I hear you.
Right? Like Reagan was shot at.
But this is history.
Oh, it's definitely history. Just like Reagan was shot at and was history. But I never learned about Reagan being shot at just because it was like.
I get it. I hear you. All right,
but then, to be fair, if we're going to analogize this to Reagan, Reagan was shot at on his campaign and he went on to win in a landslide. He only lost like 2 states out of 50. So, that, and it was.
Ronnie, I'm not joking. I fucking pray.
But then again, RFK's dad, he was shot as a presidential candidate, the front runner, presidential candidate on the campaign trail and died. And no one really cares now. Like, it was a big deal in the moment.
Because time heals everything.
Yeah.
So it's not like nobody cares. If people talk about it, just, you can't dwell. Just like when you physically get injured, the body puts you into shock to prevent you from the pain. It's just we as human beings move on to the next thing. So let me go over this. So Pelosi made a nice statement. Biden got up there.
Spoke very well.
I thought he was an idiot.
Oh, I thought it was the most genuine and authentic.
I don't.
And well-spoken.
If you watch it, they said, do you think this is an assassination attempt? He's like, we don't know. I mean, seriously?
Well, they don't.
No, they do.
In that moment, that was like a couple hours.
They do know. They do know.
But I think as the president, you have to be careful. Just like as I started this saying, we don't know what's going on.
No, but Brian, there's certain things
do you know
common sense.
So like the
stuff.
shooter, do you know who he was? Because he was a Republican.
I don't know anything about it.
Right, but like, so see, there's already things that are falling in where it's like weird things going on. So I think in the moment you just have to say we don't know what's going on.
But there is a common sense. There is an authenticity you want.
I thought he was authentic. I thought he showed remorse.
He looked like the Rumba thing again walking off.
Okay, well, yeah, but he's old.
He's old. I get it, but I don't think
he came on the
good.
debate and he was just like, last night he spoke and he was like, I tried to call Donald. He's in the hospital. Apparently he's doing well. I wish him well.
Oh, I didn't see
wish
that
his family
one.
well.
Oh, there was the one before. I didn't see that one. Can you play it?
Yeah. The one I saw, he said, I tried to call Donald. He's in the hospital, but he's doing well. I spoke with his family. Everything's good. I'm going to try to get him on the phone later.
I did not see that one.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't see one where someone asked him. So there are different ones.
This was last night's dinner. You were not there yet.
So, yeah.
We watched it in Julia's apartment.
So that could have been like his first initial.
That's what it was. That's what I'm saying.
Like, by the way, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like in the moment, people don't ever react. When Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and this has since become a meme, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, Trump got off the plane and reporters just bombarded him off the plane and they were like, what do you think about Ruth Bader Ginsburg? And he gave like the funniest, but also kind of offensive response because he was just like, oh, I don't know what to say in this moment. And it's since become a meme. He was like, well, I wish her well. Like
okay,
and
I didn't see
to be
the
fair, like
second one.
Biden might have just been woken up and
Of
told.
course he was definitely woken up.
Right. So I don't. So
Okay.
let me find the one that I saw. I was like, wow, he actually sounded.
Okay.
Let me see.
Still think he's an idiot. Cannot fucking win presidency, Bronny. Oh, don't forget you want to do that fatherly advice thing you said, right? Is that a new T-shirt?
Yeah, I got it in
It's nice.
Nashville.
It still looks new.
It's the first time I've worn it.
Yeah, you could tell. There's a difference.
Okay,
Yeah,
so this is the one
see.
you're talking about,
Let me
right?
see.
Assassination attempt?
You go back.
I don't know enough to, I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried for his own safety? With the security?
So I mean, that's a fair. That's what I would say.
All right, I'll give him all right.
But then the one that I saw. Let me see if I can find it.
Unbelievable, this whole thing. Better fucking win. November, I'm praying.
Of course I can't find it now. Let's see.
See if that's it.
Folks, I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And so, I want
This
to
is a
thank
good
the
response.
Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to get.
He's losing his steam.
It's not convenient for you all.
Yeah.
The bottom line is the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if
Okay. Pause it.
Like, I
Fine,
thought he
let's move on.
seemed
that well-spoken,
well-spoken, genuine.
I have no issue with how
Yeah,
he handled it.
yeah.
He's old and fumbles a little bit, but I think that was very genuine.
Yeah, like he
I have
seemed
no
like
issue
he
with
actually like was concerned.
He seemed just like a normal person
Right.
talking, and so I never saw that one. So
Yeah.
we're good. All right, what do you want to talk about? You said the guy. Let's talk about the shooter.
Okay, so the shooter apparently is this guy. Let me see. His name's
Oh,
Thomas.
can I? Why are you looking up? Are you listening to what I'm saying?
I am.
So there were people in the rally. It was, if you're looking at Trump, it would have been the back left corner standing up.
Yes.
There's talk about that they said they were looking and telling Secret Service, whatever, like it didn't, they saw that. It was a very weird thing.
Right. So
Now, again,
let's talk
I
about
don't
that.
know
then
enough
first.
about it. It's just I heard it on Fox. It's whether it's hearsay or not. This is what I heard. And as a result of it, interesting.
Okay, so there are a lot of
And how did a guy even get there with all this stuff anyway? Like, who knows?
right. Okay, so I mean, there's so many things.
Of course.
But let's first. So there are multiple. Let's first go to the shooter, because then we'll talk about.
Is that The View? The cast from The View?
So I just want to find his name. His name is like Thomas Cook or something. I'm just trying to. But this is the alleged shooter, right? So
It's crazy.
I
I
can't
love
find
the
a picture
fucking
of it now.
Trump. It's unbelievable.
Apparently he's 20 years old.
He knows he's gonna get killed, right?
Thomas Matthew Cooks. Well, he's dead already. He was shot there.
Saying when you do that, you know you're gonna be killed. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Apparently his name is Thomas Matthew Cooks.
Right there as a kid,
Crooks.
he
This
looks
is-
like he's a serial killer. There is a certain
So
look. I
that's
hate to
his
say
high school-
I hate to say stop judging people, but there is God gave us visual as one of our senses. You got to use it.
He had just graduated high school, apparently. I mean, in this picture, he's wearing an American flag shirt. And this is all, again, like, just coming out.
Just say it, bro.
He is a registered Republican, which also doesn't mean anything,
Correct.
because I registered as a Democrat in Massachusetts because when Bernie was trying to beat Hillary, just so that I could vote in the primary so that Bernie would be the nominee over Hillary. So I literally registered. I haven't been registered since. I don't want to register to a party, but I literally registered as a Democrat in Massachusetts just so that I could try to get Bernie to beat Hillary. So him being registered as a Republican doesn't mean anything, but also he could be a Republican. That's true too.
Okay, you're so funny, Bronny.
No, but because right away everyone was like,
understand that.
this was a like Democrat liberal extremist Antifa.
This is just a crazy person.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking I don't think the Dems trying to make it.
Well, I don't even know if it's the Dems, but it could have been like.
I'm saying it's a psycho. It's a nut job.
But you would think that it would be someone who's to kill
You would.
Trump.
He
to wanna
obviously
kill-
is anti-Trump, though.
Right. So then you would think, oh, he's anti-Trump. He's probably liberal. Or he's probably
Okay,
a Dem.
you would think, but I'm just thinking he's anti-Trump,
Yeah.
and I think he's not normal.
Right. But
Whether
even
Dem, it is.
but
a little,
it's shocking that a Republican
it is a little more shocking.
would want to kill Trump.
It's unusual.
No, it's
and
shocking.
and doesn't make sense.
Because you
But I
wouldn't,
wanna hear
expect you wouldn't expect an Antifa to
Okay,
try
I
to
get it.
assassinate Biden.
I get it. I want to hear more about this guy. Go ahead. What more do you know about him?
This is all we really know so far. So this now says federal investigators said the gunman was not carrying identification, so they analyzed his DNA to confirm his identity. That
Interesting.
the fact that they did that so fast is a little weird, and released it right
Like,
away.
you are so
yeah,
negative and pessimistic about
no,
it.
not negative, because I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just being
Okay, not
skeptical.
Okay, don't be so skeptical. But I
But like, you have to be skeptical when big things like this happen, because the last time a president was killed, JFK, like, the government still has it a secret.
okay, but he wasn't.
Where-
Killed. This is like the Reagan attempt.
Right, but if and when JFK or when RFK Sr. was killed, there's still questions about that. Like, why did Sirhan do it? Who was he working for? Right? So you can't just accept the story, because the story. So here's the thing: throughout this whole podcast, when we talk, me and you are you're on the side of the media lies. The media has an agenda. It's a lot of propaganda. The government, the mainstream government, the deep state,
You're 100%
all that
correct.
stuff, they have agendas and they tell you
You're
stories that
100%
aren't
correct.
always the truth.
Correct.
And even if they are true,
You gotta
there's
question and
shreds
things,
of-
yes.
Right. So then when I am doing that and you're saying, why are you doing that? It's like, because if all of the media is telling me one thing, and I've known that every other time they're all telling me one thing, they're probably not telling me the full truth, then I'm gonna think, you know what? They're not telling me the full truth.
Okay,
I'm not just gonna believe
You're right, but
MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, if they coordinate on one thing, it raises my red flags.
Okay.
It does. It raises my
You're
red
right.
flags.
Okay, fair enough. But because it's Trump, I know I'm making a stupid statement here, because it's Trump and the way he handled it and this and that. I just want to enjoy that fucking victory, and the fact that it was so lucky. It was that he missed, and the way he handled it, and I want him to win. So it's sort of like watching my kid get a touchdown. You know, I want
So why do you think that? Fair enough, but then why are you dismissing all of it? Don't you?
I'm not dismissing. I just want to. I just want to.
But it might make your feelings even more strong, right? What if it was the deep state that was trying to kill Trump? What if the Secret Service and the deep state?
Either way,
that makes Trump even more strong in his fight. That strengthens your side. So why would you try to dismiss that? Even?
I'm not dismissing anything you're saying. I'm not trying to tell you to be quiet. That's not what I'm doing.
No, I know.
I'm just saying that I want to relish in this fucking moment in glory, and it is just like, yeah, baby. Like, he was a fucking beast. That guy is an animal. He is the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? What he did is, and how he handled it, how it happened, like what caused this, who did this, who was behind it. I'm not.
But you have to ask those questions.
I'm fine with it because that's what we're doing for our podcast, and that's who you are.
But you don't. But you don't want to ask that
right now. It's so new and so fresh. The wound is still open. So from an analogy standpoint, I am just so proud of him, the way he reacted, and he's an old guy, and look at what he's gone through, and look how he still did this, and he is what we need for our country as a leader. Reaffirm my position, and like I said, I just want to relish in the fucking moment and that victory. Let me just enjoy the victory. Like when the Panthers won, that moment of the Panthers, it was so. I just had to relish in it and enjoy it and absorb it, and it was just a beautiful thing.
But this isn't a beautiful moment. This is someone tried to kill Trump. We need to find out who and why, right? That's my thoughts.
I want to do that in 3 days from now. I hear you.
But that's what we're doing.
I know, but my point is, I'm so pumped that he wasn't killed. I'm so pumped of the support. I'm so pumped of the way he handled it. All those things is that I want to look at that from my.
But it's not a positive, this.
Okay. I think a positive is going to come out of it, and I hope it does. And it's positives that he didn't get killed. It's positive that he's not injured. That's my positive. Okay. And at my point in my life, in my age, I want to look at positive things. But go ahead.
Okay, so this says the FBI secured his home, and federal law enforcement is searching the premises of his family's residence in suburban Pittsburgh. Suspicious devices were found in the gunman's vehicle. Crooks' political leanings were not immediately clear. Records show he's registered as a Republican voter in Pennsylvania, but has previously made a $15 donation to a Democratic-aligned group. He was a 2022 graduate of Bethel Park High School. School officials pledged to work with law enforcement investigating the shooting. One audience member was killed, and 2 are in critical conditions.
Terrible.
Trump said that a bullet pierced the upper part of his right ear. He was checked at a local hospital. The gunman was armed with a semi-automatic AR-15. ATF is tracing the weapon. He opened fire from the roof of a shed of the cordon-off rally area about 400 feet from the stage. Trump's Secret Service detail was given additional assets as part of the protocol. Okay, so that's really all they know about the shooter. The thing is, so let's talk about the actual videos from it, right? So you were saying that people behind him, what were you saying?
There were some people, first of all, a couple of things. They interviewed certain people. Again, I only hear excerpts of it, right? Snippets. And they said, we were saying there's something over there.
Yes, multiple people. So
correct.
To confirm that, like, I've watched multiple interviews with multiple people. Again, like, we don't know if these people are actually there. We don't know. People also try to insert themselves
2
into
minutes
stories.
of fame. Yep, happens all the time.
People might have been like tangentially involved in something serious, right? Like when someone dies, everyone all of a sudden knows the person.
Correct.
And is friends with them.
It happened even to me in our neighborhood. Remember when I was president of the association in Guernberg? And they're like, and I said, I don't know him.
But
and then on the news, they said personal friend. And I'm like, I'm not.
But also, that was you being good. Most people's inclination is like, yes, I did know that.
He was my best friend.
Right. So people might be trying to make themselves more important in this story, but let's just take it at face value. Multiple people, and there's video of people doing this.
Yes.
Multiple people claim, and we will have video of them literally pointing out the shooter on the roof and trying to get Secret Service and law enforcement's attention. Multiple of those people have then come out since and said, Secret Service was looking at us. They were looking straight at us and looking at the roof of where the shooter was.
True, but they couldn't. Then they said they were lower on the angle of the roof and the way he was.
Okay, so then again, people.
But there are snipers. They obviously shot him.
Okay, so we'll get to the snipers, but talking about the angle of the roof, multiple people have said, yes, law enforcement was looking at us right before this was happening, and like we were trying to get their attention because we saw him, but they couldn't see him because he was behind. He was on the lower angle of the roof. Okay, but then if he was behind the roof, how did he? At some point, he had to climb up to the vantage point on the roof, right? Because a bullet can't go up, over, and then down.
Right.
So at some
in
point,
Canada, if it's your Salt, the movie
or Wanted, they curved the bullet.
was it Wanted? Not
Yeah,
Salt.
yeah.
Yeah, Wanted. With what's her name?
No,
The hot woman.
yeah, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
Salt, but in Wanted with
Oh, that's
James
about-
McAvoy, they curved the bullet.
James McAvoy is the one who played.
In Split,
Yeah. That was the same. Wasn't
no,
the
that's
same?
Wanted, where he curves the bullet. I'm positive.
Who trained him though? Same actress.
Did Angelina?
That's what I meant.
Jolie?
Yeah. Then we're talking
Okay.
about the same movie.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
My name was wrong. Stupid curve the bullet.
Yeah, so stupid, but kind of sick also.
Yeah, it was very good.
So, like, at some point, the shooter did have
But
to
if
get
you were
up.
watching, that was me doing the bullet, shooting the bullet.
Okay, and then let's talk about the snipers. There's a video of someone filming Trump, and they zoomed in on the snipers behind him, right? Who are the ones that it's like now confirmed that those snipers on the roof killed the shooter.
Lucky guys.
So when you watch the video, you hear like multiple bullets go off at a time.
multiple, yes.
And some of those inevitably were the bullets that the law enforcement shot at and killed
Correct.
the guy, right? When you watch the video, I can show you like the first bullet goes off, and then the snipers immediately they don't even move their right. Like if you're a sniper, right, and you're looking around, and gunshots go off, you're gonna swivel towards the gunshots and shoot. Right, that's your job, is to find.
Well, you have videos of the snipers?
Oh yeah. You want to watch it?
No, I never saw that.
Yeah.
Do you have your phone with you in case mom tries to reach you?
It's right there, and it's on airplane mode.
Okay. Should you get my phone? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, here. So this is someone was filming in the crowd.
Unbelievable.
These are the two snipers that, as everyone's reporting, like the news and everyone, these are the snipers that took
Okay.
the guy out, Crooks. Which also the guy's name is Crooks. Like that's
Weird,
kind of
isn't it?
perfect. Like he's a crook.
Isn't that weird?
Okay, so here, let's see if there's sound on this.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something
So right
that said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, so
I can't see.
no, but okay, so the first shot goes off, and then he shoots. Look, because you watch the gun move, right? So he shoots there. Because the gun recoils, right? Look, it recoils back at him. He didn't move he didn't swivel his gun to find the shooter. He was on the shooter before the shot went off. A shot went off, and then he shoots, right? So it's like shot. Right away, the sniper shot right back. The second the shot went off.
What's your thoughts?
Therefore, he was on.
He was watching the sniper.
He was
the
on
shooter.
the shooter.
So why didn't he shoot him out beforehand?
I don't know. There are two snipers that are trained right on the shooter. At least that's what it looks like to me and to a lot of people. And then one shot goes off, and then boom, he gets and they shoot. They didn't have to move. They didn't have to swivel. They didn't have to readjust. They shot the second the bullet went. Sus to me. That's sus one.
Interesting.
Okay, so this guy was on a roof 400 feet away, which is not a lot. Hold on. You got to. I know. That's not a lot of distance.
But he was outside the perimeter, right? He was on that glass company's roof or something.
Okay,
that
but
business.
So there's only two scenarios that can be one of them has to be the truth. One is that the Secret Service failed at protecting the perimeter because if you look at, so it would happen on a farm, right? And there are like 4 buildings total
It's
around.
very weird.
Let me see. Trump, there's maps of it that people have, like Google Maps.
It's crazy.
Here, like,
let me see.
I want to find a full picture. Okay, so here, this is what I'm looking for. So this is a map of. So it says where Trump's standing, where the cameras were. There are 8 Secret Service agents on this roof. So how many buildings are in this entire proximity? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? 10 buildings. It's a farm, right? There's not that much.
Very interesting. That's the only place where the snipers would be. Shouldn't they be on the other where the shooter is too?
So this is the location where people were, like the videos of the people saying the shooter's there, right? And you saw the videos. So they're standing there. The shooter's there. It's only 400 feet. That's not a lot, right? 400 feet is not a lot at all. And
it's a football field and a quarter.
And Secret Service, the agents the snipers were on this roof. So they had a direct
Why
eye line.
wouldn't there be more Secret Service agent snipers on every roof?
Why wouldn't every roof have been checked? There's 10 of them, right? Why wouldn't you have done a sweep of every single building? There's only 10 of them. They
should have snipers on every roof.
They do sweeps of entire when the presidential motorcade goes down Manhattan road in Manhattan, they do sweeps of every building.
Now,
there's 10 of them.
It's interesting.
10 buildings, and the biggest one, the shooter just was able to lay on the roof. That means he had to climb up. First of all, that means he had to bring a gun in. He had to climb up, and he had to wait there.
But that's outside the perimeter.
What do you mean? What perimeter? It's 10 buildings.
Okay, slow down there, Rainbow. I'm saying when they were letting people in, it was fenced off. That's outside the fenced area.
Okay, so
doesn't alleviate the fact that they should have had Secret Service agents on those roofs too.
So that's why I'm saying there's only two scenarios. One is that the Secret Service fucked up at their job. They did a terrible job.
Which could happen.
Or this was allowed. Like it's only one of those two. Both are terrible.
I don't think it was allowed. I think it was just an error in that regard.
A huge error. The Secret Service, which is supposed to be the best.
Okay. Now maybe they thought maybe different. You know, people get comfortable and lazy. Look what Israel did with allowing the Hamas to do what they did with the tunnels.
Okay, and then the other thing too is like if you, a lot of people have been tweeting. They're like, I'm a professional shooter or I'm an amateur.
Yeah, everybody's an expert.
No, but so like 400 meters,
400 feet.
400 feet. A lot of people are saying like if you have a sniper rifle, you're not missing that shot. You can make that shot. Okay. That's not a hard shot to make.
Let me listen to me because I shoot. Okay, first of all,
but you don't shoot snipers. Sniper rifles.
Well,
do you?
AR, and I have an AR and an AK.
He had an
AR.
I guess he had an
That's
AR.
What it is. So here's the thing. Did it have a scope on it?
I don't know.
Well, we need to know that, and what kind of, and if it did, and what kind of scope, and again, if the scope's off a little bit. So
but also, I guess he technically didn't miss because he hit him.
Okay, but Bronson, do you know how hard it is still, even for an expert gunsman? You can have even a scope that has the laser in the scope, not a laser that goes on the person, but when you're looking in through the scope, and if it's off a little bit, not
calibrated
perfectly, you can miss. And by the way, here's another thing. He could be turning his head. What if he turns his head? What if he didn't at that point?
Well, Trump does turn his head like half
and
a second before.
And he moves and this and that. And what if he puts his fist bump up there? My point is, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. So that part I don't care about. That I don't think that. I do think that there's always errors in every when you know hindsight's 20/20.
Of course.
When you go back to things, always errors. All I want to say is I couldn't be.
Wait, but there's way.
I know, but we don't have.
I know, but you've established that you're happy about it. Like
okay.
we got to talk about. There's so much more to talk about. Not just like that he was great because it happened.
I was trying to wrap it up only because you're doing it now, but I'm fine to go more.
But I think we need to because there's more to talk about. Not too much. But there's another. Okay, so there's another video of right before it happens.
We can do a second one after lunch because we do have lunch. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a Secret Service agent right in front of the stage that ducks before a bullet's fired.
Let me see that.
In the video.
That's a little weird.
He full on ducks before.
Where'd you get this information from?
It's a video that I watched.
So you didn't hear it from anybody? You just thought it's
people on Twitter were like, look, this Secret Service agent ducks
I like to see that. I like to see that.
Secret Service. Let me see if I can find it. I should have saved it when I watched it. There was like so much going on. Yeah, here. This says, rumors are circulating that the Trump assassination attempt was an inside job. Pay attention to what the Secret Service agent does seconds before.
Where is it? I can't see.
Like this guy, I think.
Probably 20 minutes.
That's this guy.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Oh, he did not.
Oh, no, he didn't.
That's not true.
Yeah, no.
That is not true.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
See,
he didn't.
That's a real reaction. That gave me chills.
That's a real reaction.
That gave me chills. Seriously.
That's a real reaction. Okay, so that one, that looks like a real reaction.
Wow.
Let's see what people said about what people are saying about this.
Fucking crazy.
Crazy. Here, this is the guy saying that he alerted. Here,
before the shooting happened, and then what did you see and hear?
I was just standing there like everybody else, waiting for.
Scary by this whole thing, Bronny.
As Trump started, I noticed 2 officers that were looking for something or somebody. I was looking around myself and seeing a guy on top of one of the buildings go in between one building to the next, and went and told the officer that he was up there. And when I went back to my spot, I heard that people could still see the person from where they were standing. So I checked that out, and I went back to tell the officer that if he came over there, he could see them. And when I turned my back is when the shots started, and then it took me a second or two to figure out exactly what it was. And then it was just getting out of there. And
so like people had alerted the law enforcement.
They could be just bad officers too, though, Bronson. They'd be like, say, okay, great, no problem, we got it under control. You know, you never know. They could be lazy officers. You just don't know, Bronson.
Yeah. Okay. So
that could happen. I mean, this guy seems very genuine. You see his nerves.
Yeah. The last thing that is like, whoa, this is weird to me, is behind Trump. So like all the people behind him, right? The bullets fire,
and everyone's standing up.
Well, so there was a lot of confusion at first, and you never know. Like, you hear cars backfire, and you're like, was that a gunshot? But you don't immediately duck, right? Like, you never know how you're going to react in the situation. You might just be like, what was that?
But when the Secret Service did attack, people were still standing. Yeah. That was I found that weird, because if I was with my family, I would protect them because they get down.
Yeah. A lot of people did go down right away. One of the bullets went right into them and they died. Like their head exploded apparently.
And
they there's video of the body being dragged up, but the head was wrapped in a towel. There's one guy behind Trump who is wearing a fedora and like he has black curly hair. He's been behind Trump in a lot of Trump speeches. He did not flinch, react at all whatsoever. He's sitting there the entire time. This guy is known. He's been at a lot of Trump rallies. His name is Vic Formosa or Vince Formosa. Let me see if I can. Hold on, let me get it up. Yeah, so this guy right here. That one. He's dressed weird, right?
Yeah, he doesn't look stable. They need to search this guy.
Okay, so this guy has been behind Trump in a lot of his. Oh, let me get his name up.
Look how everybody just wants to videotape. It's weird.
That guy's been here. This is him too. He's been at a lot of Trump rallies. Vince Fusca. Vince Fusca. Now, this one, I just was seeing all this online this morning, and I was like, this is interesting. I don't know what's to it, but so here, look, everyone ducks and stuff. That's him up in the left corner. He doesn't move at all, right?
Could he just be dumb? It looks retarded.
No, because there's other videos of him elsewhere at other Trump rallies and all this stuff. Here's him.
They need to vet this guy.
It looks like he's wearing, ignore who that is. It looks like he's wearing a wig, doesn't it? Right? Like that looks like a wig to me. He's appeared at a lot of other Trump rallies. There are speeches. I wonder if I can find what I'm looking for. There are speeches where
tell me your point.
He's behind. There have been past speeches where he's been behind Trump, and everyone's holding up signs of women for Trump, Latinos for Trump, Trump 2024, and he's holding up signs that just say, at one speech, he just held up a sign that said Ruby, R-U-B-Y, which JFK, the whole theory behind JFK's assassination was that he was killed by the CIA, and the CIA hired this mobster, Jack Ruby, to kill JFK.
That's bizarre.
To kill JFK.
That's bizarre.
So this guy has been behind Trump in a previous speech with just a picture or just the word Ruby. There's been another time where you just held up a picture of a white van. Okay? Before this.
Okay, so why are they allowing him, guy in?
Before any of this assassination attempt, for years, right? You know about QAnon and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
Do you know that a big part about QAnon is that JFK Jr. is actually alive? Or JFK Jr. died.
Oh, God.
Okay, so a big theory behind QAnon is that JFK Jr. is actually alive and he's like in hiding and secret, and he's helping Trump like destroy the deep state because his father was killed by the CIA, right? Before this whole thing ever happened, that this guy, Vince Fusca, QAnon was like, this is JFK Jr. in disguise. Many, many Trump supporters for years have pointed to this guy and they've been like, look, he's at all these Trump things.
That's retarded.
That's JFK Jr. in disguise. Then this guy goes behind Trump and holds up Ruby, which is the guy who killed his father, right? JFK, let's just go with their theory. And now this guy is behind Trump during his assassination attempt and doesn't flinch at all, right? At all. I don't know. This is just what people like another theory, but like the
things
fact,
that make you go,
the fact that he didn't flinch at all. Look,
See something that
let's see.
said,
Here he is.
Take a look at what happened.
the woman in the blue didn't flinch much
She's
either.
ducking.
A little bit, but come
She's
on.
full on ducking. And then at one point when Trump's getting up, Vince is yelling something to him. Look, he's the only one standing. He stands out because he's the only one standing. Does he
And
not
the guy
stand
in
out
the
to you?
white, there's the other.
No, these guys are ducking, Dad.
Go on.
Then if you
And then I wish I could find.
Interesting.
There's one point where he's motioning. He's like yelling to Trump something.
It is weird.
Now I don't know what this one is, but look, there's so many. This is from 2 years ago, right? This is meeting with some candidates today.
It's definitely not Kennedy Jr.
I don't think it is, but it's just weird that this guy has been around in conspiracy circles for
I don't
years,
think
and he happens to be right behind
It's weird.
Trump
Every
when
time
Trump
they
gets
need to look
assassinated. Who knows? That's just like a fun one,
It's interesting.
and so people do think that he's JFK Jr. in disguise.
That's retarded.
Here, this is him yelling when Trump is being cordoned off. Like he could just be saying like "Go Trump" or something.
Right.
Who knows?
Weird.
This is people are
Definitely
saying
not.
that he's JFK Jr.
Well,
in
people need to
disguise.
get a life.
He also could just be like a weird guy who's a Trump
Yeah,
supporter.
and a
then
stalker.
one person was like, "Is that JFK Jr.?" And he ran with it, and he held up the sign Ruby
This gives him an identity, self-worth, maybe.
right,
Who
and
knows?
he might have be leaning into it, and that's why he held up the sign Ruby.
But they need to check this guy out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm
they
not
have.
joking. They need to check this fucking guy out.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much more to talk about, but we just don't have time. And there's all these other things that I wanted to get to, but this was like too pressing, and we have to go to
No, I
lunch.
know, but I'm wondering. Let me just see if this is mom.
There were other things that like weren't the Trump shooting that I wanted to talk about, like a lot of things.
So
We'll
why
just
don't we
have
do?
to-
We could do another one.
Yeah, we'll just have
afterwards.
to do another episode,
We'll do one after lunch,
and that'll be our Patreon for this month.
we'll see if we have time.
Yeah, or if not, I'll come up tomorrow or Tuesday and
Okay.
for this week because there's so many other things that we got to talk about.
So let's do it.
Okay.
All right. And we didn't do fatherly advice. Whatever.
No.
All right, Brian, love you, everybody. Fucking Trump 2024. You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me.
The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.